So the buzz for me about working alongside singers and instrumentalists and writing very specifically for them, I suppose comes back to the idea of the human factor. It's about friendship, it's about collaboration, it's about working with a personality, writing something that's meaningful for someone and therefore the audience. It's another way of connecting to the audience through the person that you're writing for as well. So I keep thinking of this little triangle. It's, composer, performer, audience, composer, performer, audience, and it just kind of goes backwards and forwards. But I think the performer is not just the deliverer of the music. I think I like to think of them and include them as part of the composition. I like working with singers. I like working with breath, which I know you can do with other instruments too, but it's the combination of the meaning of the words and adding meaning to the words and drawing an audience in. It's not that I don't love writing instrumentally, but writing for voice for me is easier. Maybe that's why I like it more. It does feel easier for me. I often compose instrumentally with my voice as well. In fact, sometimes I think the things that I sing are the more effective parts of the pieces, even if they're instrumental pieces. Well, every soprano is different. Every mezzo has a different sound to the next mezzo, etc. So I really like writing for the individual singer. And I think, or I feel, that there's an element of fun about exploring someone's individual sound and then writing specifically for them. Just because the range and the way that it can be sung will be very similar, the end product can be very different if you've written very specifically for somebody. So how does interpretation change composition for me? I think different composers have different ideas about how much they like their pieces to be interpreted, and to a degree we get to choose that by how detailed our scores are. So for me, I like to try and get my intention across as clearly as I possibly can, but I very much like the idea of someone bringing their own character and personality and way of performing into my piece, because that's so interesting. And if they take it too far away from what I thought I'd like it to be, then I have to look carefully at the score and say, did I make my intention clear enough? But let's assume that I have done that. I reflect upon a piece called Glisten. It's just a little solo piano piece, and it's been performed numerous times by numerous pianists. And I just am stunned by the way that it's been interpreted. And sometimes it's a little confronting because I think, oh, I haven't heard it like that. But I think, no, it's exactly as I intended. It's still my piece, but I love the flavour that they've put on it, and it's really from their own style of playing. So I'm very much a composer who likes to give a bit of elbow room, but not too much elbow room. But interpretation is something that I find fascinating, and I welcome it. I've developed an approach now over time that is not only for singers but for instrumentalists. So as we've discussed already, every voice is different, and so I like to explore that voice. But also the person behind each instrument is different too. The sound may not be quite as starkly different, but the personality behind the instrument really is. So I've developed a process now when I'm writing very specifically for a solo or a small ensemble, where I'll meet with that ensemble or person and ask them, what do you love doing? What is it when you get up to when you're playing a piece or singing a piece that you really can't wait to get to? What is it about those couple of bars that you just can't wait to sing or play? And we talk about that and what it is about that makes them, I call it zing. And I ask them, is there something that you would like me to include? What do you love doing that you would like me to include in that piece? So now for every piece that would fall into that category, I'm writing some texture or some line or some rhythmic feature perhaps, or some text that is very specific to that person so that they know that it's for them. And to me, that's so important. I want it to be a joint. It makes it a little bit more collaborative, I suppose, even though it's my piece. But they know that I've taken their personality and their character as a performer into a new piece.